My sister gave birth to her daughter a few weeks ago. We're not that close anymore, but at one time we were. But she's an idiot to my wife, and I can't stand by that. So we're low contact. I don't call her, and I don't answer if she calls me. But I will see her when it's something family related, and I'll be civil and polite to her, typically. When I say she's an idiot to my wife, it's because she's so petty with her. My wife is Irish. She didn't grow up in the U.S. and only moved here in her 20s. So she has a very strong connection to her home. She has a strong accent, and her name is Irish, and she's very protective over people saying it correctly. And rightly so, in my opinion. My wife's name is Sierra, for those who wonder. My sister poked fun at how my wife said certain things, like tomatoes. She told my wife she was saying it wrong, because my wife could stand up for herself and would just roll her eyes if my sister made a bigger deal out of it. My sister got annoyed. So she started to make a point to say my wife's name like we would say it with that spelling. She told my wife she's in America now, so she should accept her name being said like that. I told my sister she was acting like a kid and to cut it out. The final straw was when we were expecting our first child, and my sister told us we better not pick an Irish name, and my wife better not teach our kids to say things weird. I told my sister she was so darn ignorant, it was crazy, because different parts of the world will have different accents and different names for things. I told her my children would be half Irish, and if we wanted to give them Irish names, it was nothing to do with her. And we went low contact after that. So now my sister has a daughter, and what did she name her daughter? Sierra, but said in the way we would say it. She made a big point to send me and my wife an announcement about it, and the name. My wife specifically came with a pronunciation. I didn't get that, nor did anyone else in the family. We saw her on Saturday, and she smirked the whole time and loudly said her daughter's name for the 2 hours we were in her presence. Others in the family told her she didn't need to repeat the name over again, but she carried on. She told our parents that her daughter loved hearing her name and that she loved hearing a phonetically correct name. When we were leaving, my sister tried to approach my wife. I stepped in between them and told my sister she was a petty brat, and I felt sorry for her kid being named to spite someone else. I told her she couldn't be more of a child if she truly tried to be. She was blowing up my phone all Sunday and yesterday, angry that I'd said that to her. I didn't reply. Am I the idiot? What the heck? The poor child. Named that to be what? Some kind of sweet revenge? This is so messed up. I would block her just so she could be all smirking by herself. Or better, call her and thank her that you never realized that she loved you and your wife that much that you would name her child after the two of you. The same name as your wife, but with an American accent. So it also represents you. Just to show her she can't anger us with that. We see it as some form of honor. I think that would drive her furious and maybe overthink the whole name stuff. Wow, she was named out of spite? The kid is going to hate her mother. And if she grows up to be just as vocal about it as her mother, she will let everyone know. Everyone. You don't need to do a thing. Your sister is the grand master at messing up her life. Let her do it. Then sit back with a grin. The best revenge is to live your best life. It will be hilarious when the sister's future rebellious teen learns of her name's ethnic origins and starts telling the family to pronounce it the Irish way. If I were your wife, I might not go to no contact just to enjoy seeing it happen. And make sure the niece learns how to correctly pronounce wife's name. My male 42, sister-in-law 33, recently started selling burgers on Saturdays. She works a 9-to-5 Monday through Friday office job with a good salary, but she recently discovered she's pregnant with her ex's baby. He's no longer in the picture, so she's selling burgers for the extra income. Now, every Saturday, my wife, 40, buys burgers for our family, 3 kids, tween, younger tween, and pre-tween. My issue is that my sister-in-law sells burgers for $9, so 5 burgers is $45. The burgers are tasty, don't get me wrong. Still, she's using my mother-in-law's recipe, which my wife also knows, so I don't see why we should spend $45 weekly on burgers when my wife can make identical ones at home. We would spend less money on ingredients. To be clear, technically, we can afford sister-in-law's burger comfortably. I just don't see why we should when there are cheaper options. I tried to talk about it with my wife, and she said she mostly buys because she wants to support her sister. I told her it's not our job to support her sister. Also, as I said, the burgers are tasty, and every weekend they're sold out in a couple of hours, so I don't think losing our 5 burgers would put a dent in her business. Yesterday, I told my wife again that we shouldn't buy burgers, and she asked me why I cared if she was buying them from her own money, not our money. We each have an account and one joint account. I told her it's not about that. I just don't think that spending $45 every weekend on burgers is sensible when she already knows the recipe. She said she'd be spending $36 then because she wouldn't be buying mine anymore if it bothered me so much. That's exactly what she did. She bought burgers for our kids and her and didn't buy one for me, which is okay. Anyway, I got a Big Mac for cheaper, so I thought we were okay, but she's been acting as if she's mad at me since yesterday. I fail to see why she's mad. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. I was going to say not the idiot until I got to the part where you say that you guys have separate accounts and a joint account. She buys the burgers with her own money? We aren't buying the burgers. She's using her separate money. Does she micromanage how you spend your money? What if she instead gave her sister $45 a week from her own money in exchange for no burgers? What business is that of yours? Even if it is a joint account, the fact that OP said that they can comfortably afford them and have no pre-existing beef with the sister-in-law, then just buy them, man. It's a sweet thing to do. Your wife doesn't need to cook or clean up, and you can help out sister-in-law without it seeming like charity, like, darn, yes, this. It's not about food. It's about supporting her sister with money she can spare without making her sister feel like she receives charity, which it is, of course. It's not about the hamburgers. You are the idiot big time since you don't understand this. Please get it, because this is so fundamental that I dare to say that this is going to kill your marriage. If sister-in-law had a shampoo business, you would have her shampoo in the house. If she had a log business, you would have bonfires every weekend. If she did nails, your wife would have new nails every 2 weeks. Do you understand? It's not about food. It's about supporting the people you love. I, 36 female, am a neurologist, and I absolutely love my patients and my job. There's no greater honor in life than being able to help others. The road to my medical degree was challenging, and it was paved with many rejections. I was a troubled teen in high school, and I didn't get accepted into any colleges my senior year. I had to work my way up, starting with remedial classes at my local community college. When I finally got into medical school at 26, I was absolutely thrilled. I met my husband, 37, in my 3rd year of medical school, and we've been married for 4 years now. My husband works in marketing, and I make 3 times his salary. From the beginning of our relationship, I was very upfront that I was unsure about having biological children. My dream was always to adopt from foster care, and my husband seemingly understood this. However, after his best friend had a baby boy last year, he pressed me on having children. I was initially very against this idea because I was just beginning my career. I wanted to wait a few more years before revisiting the topic of children. In August of last year, I found out I was unexpectedly pregnant due to a condom breaking during intimacy. I was initially considering an abortion, but after many heartfelt conversations with my husband, we decided to keep the baby, and he would quit his job and stay home until our daughter was old enough to start preschool. Several factors went into our decision to have him stay home with our daughter. I make significantly more money than he does, so it makes more financial sense. I'm in the first few years of my career as an attending physician. After 4 years of med school and a 4-year residency, I'm just starting to practice on my own, whereas my husband has been in his career for 15 years. I was very clear that I had absolutely zero desire to stay home and be a housewife. I respect stay-at-home mothers, but my work is my life, and I would go crazy at home all day. This isn't a lifestyle I want whatsoever. Finally, I'm uncomfortable putting my child in daycare until she's old enough to express herself verbally. Our daughter's still a young infant, and I'm preparing to return to my practice in a few weeks. This weekend, I left my husband alone with our daughter while I attended a medical conference out of state. The conference was amazing, but my husband began acting weird when I returned home. Today, when our daughter was napping, I asked him to tell me what was wrong. He broke down and said he didn't think he could do this. He expressed how trapped, alone, and overwhelmed he felt all weekend. He wants me to extend my maternity leave and is talking about getting his job back. This made me freak out, and I asked, "Well, what will we do with our daughter now?" He responded by suggesting I leave my practice and work from home. I said, "Absolutely not," and he suggested daycare. At this point, I just lost it and screamed, "If I knew you were going to back out of your promise to take care of our daughter, I would have never had your child." I know I completely overreacted, and I would never trade our daughter for anything. I love her so much. But I'm so upset with my husband, and I'm unsure how to move forward. Not the idiot. You expressed boundaries and rules and he's crossed them. Stick to your boundaries. If he's unwilling, consider how important that boundary is to you and how far you're willing to go to enforce it. A child isn't something one can be so flippant over, and "I changed my mind" is unacceptable if he's the one who pushed for it in the first place. Also, economically, it makes no sense. OP's husband has all my sympathy for going into this, convinced he'd be a happy stay-at-home dad, trying it, and then realizing he felt trapped, alone, and overwhelmed. But why would he want that for OP? The obvious solution is getting a nanny or an au pair, especially given they can afford it. Suggesting OP quit her job and be a stay-at-home mom is a complete butt move. This is it, exactly. He felt it was terrible being at home alone with the baby, but now he wants her to do it? That's what doesn't make sense to me. People need to stop having kids as long as their partner does most of the work. In the long run, you can't plan for that. You also shouldn't have to be talked into having a child. You want one or you don't. It's not explicitly stated, but it sounds like OP didn't want a bio kid and only had one for her husband. What was OP planning to do if her husband got severely sick, injured, or died before their daughter could go to preschool? None of this is smart. Everyone's the idiot here. My parents have a lot of kids. They always wanted a big family and were unprepared for how hard that would be. I'm nearly adult male, the oldest of 10, and my parents have relied on me for so long that I don't remember a time when I wasn't treated like a third adult in the house. My siblings range from mid-teens down to preschool age. My parents are still technically able to have more kids too, because neither is 40 yet, and it scares me, I won't lie. We already struggle so much with 10 of us, and I know it would be worse if they added more, especially since I'm so close to moving out. In our house, we have a boys' room, a girls' room, and our parents' bedroom. We all sleep on these tiny darn bunk beds in order to fit everyone in. Nobody gets brand new clothes. It's all thrift stores for me and the oldest of my sisters, and our younger brothers and sisters get our hand-me-downs. It was expected I would step up by the time I was in kindergarten. I had to make my and my siblings' beds, tidy up after my younger siblings, stop my younger siblings from climbing onto things, and clean the floors. Over time, more chores were added to my list. Helping to cook, babysitting, even when I was too young, really. Helping with homework and holding siblings' hands when we went grocery shopping so they wouldn't run off. Cleaning the bathrooms, cleaning both boys' and girls' bedrooms, tidying up if we were having guests, especially if anyone had friends over. My siblings weren't really given chores, and I was basically doing just as much as my parents around the house. My siblings rely on me for too much, from driving them places to picking them up from places to giving them permission for stuff. My parents let me give permission where I know they would. They expect me to buy them stuff. They come to me more than our parents and sometimes come to me after our parents if they don't like what our parents say. They get cranky whenever I try to get them to help, and our parents won't back me up, so they've never done any kind of chore or helped out at all. They get so mad when I ask. They say that I'm not mom and dad, but then they also won't go to mom and dad for this stuff most of the time. My parents started freaking out because I'll be 18 soon, and they know I plan to move out. I also work part-time, and that gets relied on to help financially. Between that and all I do around the house, it finally dawned on my parents that I wouldn't be around in a few more months. They started word vomiting all this on me, and I told them they need to learn to live without me, because it's not my job to be the third adult in the house anymore. They told me I'll still be a part of the family, and I can't just abandon them. I said I will not support the household after I turn 18, because it won't be my job. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Make sure you have all your papers, license, SS card, passport, birth certificate, etc. safe. Also, keep all your email and banking passwords safe and secret. Moving out, stopping paying rent, etc. is 100% natural and normal. It's what millions of people your age do, so don't feel guilty. Also, lock up your credit so they can't open accounts in your name. Yeah, what they're doing is parentification, and it's not fair to any of you. I'm proud of you for your steadfast determination to get out. I worry that your parents won't suddenly decide to step up and take adequate care of their children and instead lean more heavily on your younger siblings. That doesn't mean you should have to clip your wings and stay homebound, but if you can, make sure that all of your siblings know that they don't have to live this way forever. Recently, my husband's ex from high school showed up, saying they had a child together over 10 years ago, and their daughter now wants to get to know him. They broke up right after high school and went to different unis. They were already broken up when she found out she was pregnant. Since she wanted to go to med school, her parents offered to take care of the baby, but apparently banned her from telling my husband. I'm 100% supportive of my husband getting to know his daughter, but at the same time, I have some financial concerns. I came into this marriage with more assets, and I earn more than he, and financial stability is very important to me. The thought of something happening to him and losing part of my assets to his child terrifies me. Sharing everything with my husband never bothered me before because that's part of marriage, but suddenly having a daughter is not what I signed up for. Therefore, I want a postnuptial agreement that protects my assets. When I told my husband this, he got very frustrated with me, saying that he had just found out that he had a daughter and he wasn't in her life for the first so many years. He's still in shock, and one of the first things I do is come at him with a postnuptial, making it seem like I'm preparing to divorce him. I think I'm justified in wanting a postnuptial, and I've spent the last 2 months being extremely supportive of him and helping him manage this situation. I don't see why wanting peace of mind for myself is that bad, but one of my friends also said that I'm kind of an idiot for bringing up a postnuptial, and it's not like my husband is likely to die anytime soon that makes me really need this. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You gave him 2 months. The news is big, but he's an adult, and life isn't always going to be smooth sailing. He had his shock, and now he needs to prepare, and so do you. Don't listen to people saying you're the idiot. The biomom's family has been the idiots for keeping his child from him for 13 years. Protect yourself until this sorts itself out. Do not feel bad. You are the only one looking out for yourself right now. This mom could sue him for back child support and current support. OP must ensure everything is based on her husband, not joint income or assets. I think she's smart for this. I think it's important to do it quickly. I would ask for the same. I'm sure he was shell-shocked, but so was she. We're talking about paying for school, cars, college, insurance, etc. It's important to get ahead of it. Is she really his child? I mean, it's not rare for exes to just pop up with a child, claiming that X is the father, but I would do a DNA test just to be sure. OP, don't wait for your husband to take action on this matter. While he's busy sorting things out with his daughter, you should speak with an attorney and have the postnuptial drawn up, so all he has to do is sign.